All right, ladies, I want to welcome you to another self love conversation. My name is Gloria Ward, and I am the founder of this amazing project, the I'm Loving Me Project, where we inspire you to love yourself. And we're talking about mental health this month, and we're closing out Mental Health Awareness Month with some ladies I know you have to connect with. Like I just told them, I just finished listening to their podcast, and I could tell you that I laughed my ass off. And the reason why is because when you talk about mental health and you talk about, your issues, you got to be in a place where you can let loose, but also enjoy yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thank you guys. We have Amy and Sarah from the Unqualified Therapist podcast. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so
Thank
much for having
you.
us.
Look, I was listening to, I guess, the latest one, and it said, if you want us to write your review for you, we're actually writers. And I'm saying to myself, that's a good idea. Does anybody want me to write their review for them? Because, it takes a couple of days for it to post,
Yeah.
right?
I
So
mean,
you
yeah,
want to
we
make
got it
sure
for you. We
that
got
it
it handled.
sounds good. But but I'm glad you ladies are here, and I really want to be able to not only talk about how you guys got started with the podcast, but you guys to talk about your story as to why you have been inspired to do that, because that's the most important thing that we do here. We celebrate women who overcame and became, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
So
love that.
whoever wants to
Overcame and
go
became.
first, they can. Uh-oh.
Not it.
All right, I'll go. It's so hard always to make it into a small story. Our stories are so big.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that I was diagnosed at 18 with anxiety and depression and have been struggling, not but living with, I'll say, mental health issues my entire life. I got married to my husband. His name was Scott, and he lived with bipolar disorder. And so I took care of him and he took care of me. And we went through this mental health journey for 17 long years. And we, as a caregiver for someone who his was pretty severe at times, I found that the system is incredibly broken. We couldn't get the help that we needed. I couldn't I just couldn't care for him and my kids and work and do all of these things without the system beating me back in the face.
Right.
And so, unfortunately, my husband passed away 2 years ago.
Mm.
And, so I try to tell people that bipolar disorder, any mental health illness is just like cancer. It can kill you as well. And that's what overcame him. And that's how we lost him. So, since then, I decided to do something with that. And I wanted to make sure that people could talk about mental health in a way that is normalized and we don't feel so awkward or ashamed. There's so much shame that comes with it
Exactly.
that that people don't say anything and then they live in that. And that's just, and we always say it's better to get it out of your head because it's so much smaller once you say it. And so that's mainly my story and how I kind of ended up becoming here with Sarah.
Yeah.
And and I just got one question for you
Yeah.
before we do that. So, after your husband passing, how was the relationship? You guys got kids?
Yes.
How was the
Yes.
relationship with you and your kids after that? Because you're still battling with your mental health. Did it have any effect on them?
Yeah. It definitely did. My children are unfortunately extremely resilient. My daughter's 11, my son is 4. My daughter was best friends with my husband. He raised her, but she also saw the ups and downs. We're just now kind of coming to a place of a little bit of normalcy, a little bit of like, leveling out. But I think that I decided to get extra help for myself and take care of me more so that, they have me, they have someone who's stable and able to care for them.
That's fantastic. And Sarah?
Yeah. So my story is kind of the opposite direction of hers, where I was struggling with all of these mental health issues, but didn't have a name for it. I didn't know what was going on. So I had a lot of trauma from an early age. Um, just a couple of things. I found one of our swim teammates on the bottom of the pool and she had drowned.
Mm.
I lost my brother to a car accident, and I lost my father to colon cancer. And then I was also diagnosed with breast cancer at 36. So there were all of these things that had happened. And I was raised with older parents who still had that mindset of like, you got to get on with your life. Like there's no, like, you can't slow down. You can't, take this time. Like we just got to get on with it. So I never processed anything. I never grieved properly. I just got up and marched on. And from a very young age until just a few years ago, where I dealt with some suicidal ideation because of not knowing how to deal with these things. So when that happened, and I had what I call my mental breakdown, and I went into the hospital for almost a week. There just was this realization that people did actually care about me. And so it's, when you're in this dark mental health space, you feel very alone and you feel like you're a burden to others. And that was my feeling. And that I felt like the world would just be better if I wasn't here. So being there and having that experience was just very awakening for me. And Amy and I had known each other we've known each other for like 5 years or so. Mm-hmm. And we had connected right off the bat. But we kept kind of getting pulled apart. So it would be like we would connect and we'd get pulled apart, and we would connect and then get pulled apart. So it just wasn't our time.
Right.
And then finally, we were able to connect again. And that was the time that it held. And it just,
it all happened so organically.
It did.
Yeah.
So we just started, she was, kind of the first person that I talked to about things that were, meaningful for me, that were about my feelings without making me feel ashamed to say them. Mm-hmm. Whereas people before, I had opened up to someone before and felt very ashamed. I was shamed by that person. So it was like I had tried to take the step forward and then took 10 back. And so with her, it was just very easy. And she was able to share with me. And then we were like, we got to get this out there. Like we need to help other people know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
And that, they've got people out there that are struggling too. And the crazy or wild things they're thinking that we probably thought them too. And so have like half the population. So that's kind of why we started this.
And what I'm hearing was that you guys were each other's therapy when you know what I'm saying?
Yes, we still are.
Yes.
Well, I mean, here's another funny side note.
I know, this is so random.
We have the same therapist.
Like randomly. Yeah, like randomly. Like
not on purpose?
No.
Wow.
No, definitely not.
Mm-mm.
But
so you guys are talking
proud of us.
Yes.
So you guys are talking to each other, giving each other tips. Like my therapist said, well, that's similar to what my therapist said.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys saw the thing on Apple, the Me You Can't See, that's out about mental health with Prince Harry and Oprah. It's a very good documentary.
Yes. It's a new book, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the Me You Can't See. And if you have anytime, if you can watch it on Apple TV, it's a great documentary about mental health. And one of the things that you guys mentioned that I want to talk about that they really pointed out is the shame. Mm-hmm. And finding out your diagnosis and being shamed to say it to people, coming back home in your relationships, and really just letting your family know. Can you talk about what it was like for you and how did you overcome the shame if you had any shame?
I had a lot of shame. I don't know about you. I had a lot of shame tied to some of my trauma, but also tied to my diagnosis because I was in a profession where I was supposed to be that healing person for other people. I had a fitness studio where we mainly taught yoga and meditation and chakra healing. And so I was, supposed to be that safe space for others. So I was very ashamed of that at first. And then also when I came home from the hospital, I didn't tell my kids why I asked my husband not to tell them why I was in the hospital. I had already been going through breast cancer treatments, so they just thought it was something related to that.
Right.
So I had shame with my children who, would have been the most supportive people there for me.
Yeah.
But it was like I was just afraid to tell anyone, and it sort of just came out of my mouth. It was weird. I got home from the hospital that day, and one of my neighbors that I like was not even close with at the time, she was just like, how are you doing? And she knew why, because she had taken my kids
Yeah.
for one night. She's like, how are you doing? And I was like, I think I'm okay. And I started to like, I told her like a story about it, and it was sort of like saying it out loud, and then she didn't like be like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
Yeah.
away from me. And she kept talking to me. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, I can tell this. And then I told my son, and he was so upset that I had lied to him. And he's like, why
Mm,
wouldn't you just
Wow.
tell me, mommy? Like,
yeah.
why wouldn't you just tell me? And so I said, because I don't know. I didn't know how you would react. And I was embarrassed. And he's like, don't you ever, be embarrassed to tell me something. Children, they're
Yeah.
like, wise old souls sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, so that helped me to overcome it, was just saying it out loud. But I still carry some shame, especially around some of the sexual trauma that I've experienced.
Hmm.
But it's a journey. It's an
Yeah,
ongoing journey.
it
Yeah.
is. And
I was just gonna say, so way back when I was younger and I was diagnosed, I don't know if I felt shame. I was disappointed in myself. I was a perfectionist. I did everything like perfectly, and that was kind of like my thing. That was what I did. So this to me was this huge flaw. As life went on, I just lived with it. There was a lot of shame in Scott's illness because we might be okay in some arenas with bipolar and I'm sorry, with depression and
Mhm.
anxiety, but bipolar disorder, I,
right.
we were so scared to tell people because then they wouldn't want their kids to come over and play with our kids, or they would be afraid. The people just have a lot of misinformation. And then I would say, lastly, there is shame now because I did come out to my job, and it has gone poorly.
Mm.
So um, I'm very still proud of myself for doing that, and I wouldn't take it back because this is who I am wholly, and I feel that I need to be somewhere that somebody can appreciate that entire person.
And I'm sorry about the cell phone, guys. I'm gonna turn that off. But I have a I wanted to know, why do you think that in this day and age is still such a big stigma? Because with the work that we're doing, we're trying to end this stigma, because we're figuring out after COVID that there are so many people
Hmm.
who are suffering. I when I interviewed a lady the other day, I said, 2020, do you know how many people were alone? you
Mm.
Yeah.
know do you know how many people who were battling with addictions, who were
Yeah.
used to going to meetings, who couldn't go,
Right.
who
Yeah.
were sitting battling if they were going to do drugs or not, because their thoughts were bothering them and
Yeah.
they didn't know how to be with themselves?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so this uh, big rally cry of mental health just started like this big boom. But it's kind of like what you said, Amy. When you go to work, it's always something. When you talk to certain people, it's always that woo. How do you ladies think we can get around that? Like, because, it's like the boogeyman
Well, I
that
mean,
nobody can't see, right?
it's funny that you asked that because I've been asking myself that since this is my life right now. And Sarah's really been supportive of me because I want to take my steps back now. I want to take it back sometimes. But when I stand in my truth and what I really believe, I think the way that we do it is we keep moving forward, keep
Hmm.
pressing forward. I'm not ashamed that I suffer from anxiety and depression. Sometimes it's crippling, yeah, but I'm doing everything I can to be healthy. And I'm taking all the precaution steps I need to be, but sometimes it just doesn't work.
That's right.
And I'm going to continue to move forward speaking my truth and saying that's where I'm at. So
And we should be allowed to
We
actually
should
feel
be
what we
allowed.
feel.
Yeah.
Because you learn
Yes.
in school, say your feelings, right? You tell your
Yeah.
kids all the time, if there's something
Yes.
wrong, come to me. I am your first line of defense. I can talk to you about different things. And it's like, well, I am coming to you. I am letting you know about me and what's going on with me. And now you're treating me differently.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
worried
Yeah.
about if your kids can play with my kids
Yep.
because you
Right.
don't know what's
Yep.
going to go on. Where you're like, it's just a whole bunch of bullshit because
Yes,
Right.
it is.
what you're trying to accomplish, you're also reverting back because you're making people feel like they can't come to you. So they hold it in.
Yeah.
The issues get worse. They don't get the help they need, right? And so now you have this big problem going on where you got young kids who are killing themselves
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
because they
Second leading
said,
cause of death in
that's
kids.
right, because they said that they nobody would talk to them, or they were ashamed and they couldn't be heard, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it still is such a stigma because people are afraid of what they don't understand. So I think that what you're doing, what we're doing is getting that message out there and hopefully reaching the people who need to hear it the most.
Exactly.
And I think what Amy said is so important. Is like when you say something like that, you want to take it back. You want to
Mm-hmm.
be like, oh, I don't like how that went.
Right.
Never mind, never
Now,
Right.
mind,
now you're
rewind.
now, yeah. Now you think all these things about me, and
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
psych, it was
yeah,
all a joke.
exactly.
just
Yeah.
kidding.
Just kidding. Yeah. But I think just, just keep standing up and keep speaking out and keep being honest because especially with Amy's situation, she's been doing the same job for 10 years.
Right.
They had no idea that she had this
And I've
diagnosis.
had it for since I was 18. That's many years ago. We'll
Many years.
just say that
Right.
many years ago. Okay.
Yeah. So I always tease her because she's only 2 years older than me, but I still give her a hard time because I'm still 39 and she's past the 40. So I turned 40 this
Gotcha.
year. So I'm not going to be able to tease her as much anymore.
No.
But anyway, um, yeah, I just think keeping to like standing up and letting people know because now they're like, well, wait a minute. Can you do your job? Well, yeah, no shit. I can do my job. I've been
I've
doing
been
it for
doing
10
it.
years.
Right.
You have
Yeah.
no idea. I
Yeah.
tell you now, and confide this in you because I'm looking for, some support. And this is the kind of, retaliation that I'm getting back. And that's just, we just have to keep going. And I think that her being brave enough to keep going and to not just shut it down and say, you know what, I'm good, I'm fine, is the most important thing because in the end, when you're like at the end of your time,
Yeah.
you're
Right.
not going to look back and be like, I wish that I would have really stayed at that job
Yeah.
and
No.
like
Because you're
been there
helping
for 10 more
so many
years.
people. You're helping so many people.
and
Yeah.
that's what I want to do. For people who don't have it right now and they can't, and they're in that spot and they're not ready to step out, to know that they still can.
Right.
Yeah.
That I want them to see me land on my feet. So okay, these guys are being assholes to me, but like I'm still going to land on my feet, so you can go ahead and tell whoever you need to tell, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
It's like they have health mental health in a workplace, right? Where like they have that little room you go to, so everybody's looking to see who goes in the room, right?
You guys have a room?
no,
but
I've never even heard of
but
that.
but
We don't
it's like,
even have mental health in our workplace.
everybody's trying to be inclusive. It's like that's what companies are trying to do now. Say,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to help our employees by bringing, someone in so we can have mental health in the workplace, work them out a little bit, get them excited about their job and make sure we're taking care of them. It's like, no, the hell you're not.
No,
You're
you're not.
labeling
You are
people, right?
checking a box.
That's right. You're
Yeah.
labeling people, you're checking a
Mhm.
box. And then when it comes time, you're going to say, hey, you know what? It might be your anxiety as to why you're not doing what you're
Yep.
supposed to do.
Yep.
Where it's like, come on, guys. But
Yeah.
my other question is, so what inspired the podcast? Like, is it because of you guys' relationship and everything? Because I strongly believe that you guys are doing something amazing. So who
Thank
decided,
you.
let's go out and do a podcast? Okay.
It was
Yeah, she's like, let's do a
That's
podcast.
right.
It was like, seriously, I can remember when it happened. She was laying on my couch downstairs with like her feet up on the arm, and I'm like sitting on my couch. We're like relaxing, and she just blurts, she's like, we should do a podcast. And I was like, yeah, we should. And it just started off as this like very like just out there in the wind kind of thing, but
Yeah.
then it developed, and we took our time, and it took about 6 months for us to get into it.
Yeah, my husband and I had podcast plans. We started and never completed because we always came into an episode of mania or depression, so we couldn't do it. And it's just always been my dream to do a podcast. And I thought, what better way than to honor him in a
Yeah.
mental health podcast where we're also sarcastic and sassy and irreverent, because that was my husband. And
Yeah.
so, I feel like it just works with us too. There's
Mhm.
a kind of, we have a nice little magic.
We do, yeah.
I can hear it all on the podcast. And, I was also saying to myself, like, wow, not only do these ladies have something, but just the attitude and the charisma and all the stuff that you guys got going on is just amazing. But what I
Thank
was
you.
thinking while I was listening is, how are things now? Like, how do you manage? Because a lot of people get their diagnosis, right? And they know exactly what it means. They studied it, but how do you manage it? How do you accept that there are going to be good days and bad days? And when you feel those things come on, that it is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing journey. It's an ongoing process
It
for sure.
is. It's an ongoing journey. We just talked
We
about
did,
that,
yeah.
how we were living in this place of like, we're owning it, we're great,
Yeah.
this, that, and the other. And then the next week we were like, what the hell are we doing?
That's
This
right.
is awful.
That's
Like,
right.
what's
We're like, I
happening?
have no idea what I'm doing with my life.
Yeah. Like, I made all these choices that were terrible. What
Yeah.
was I talking about?
Uh-huh.
And I
What
think,
made me think I could do this?
and the
Right.
thing is like, we talk about too with suicidal ideation, both of us have it. And
Yeah.
so I can be I don't know, I can be in this wonderful place and the next day want to end it all. And I
Mhm.
can't tell you why. I can't tell you what's going on. It's a very scary thing that a lot of people don't understand. And so I always say, find one person that you
Mhm.
can tell. Sarah knows I don't need her to do anything about it. I just need someone to know that this is where I'm at. We're just like, not a good day.
Yep. And we'll just shoot a text over, like,
Yeah.
not doing well today. Like,
Yeah.
we just are honest with each other. And if that other person knows, then we know to like nudge throughout the day and
Yes.
just, kind of, how's it going? How you doing? You
Yeah.
know, and, or just wanted to tell you, I love you, just sort of
Yeah.
kick over those thoughts. And I think that another thing that helps too is that we've kind of made this thing that whenever we're thinking something positive about someone, we're
Yes.
speaking it out loud to them.
Mhm.
So with each other, we're doing that
Yeah.
often because we spend a lot of
Yeah.
time together. So that helps a lot too. But there are days when we're both in that space
Right.
and we just talk to each other about it. And it's just being able to be open with one another is very important. And I think the other thing is too, is that after years of dealing with this, we've been able to identify like our stressors, our
Yes.
triggers.
Yes.
We've also been able to write down things that like we think when we are healthy and that we can look at when
that's
we're
so
not
important.
healthy.
And
So,
that,
and you,
that was my other question. Do you guys like journal or anything like that to kind of have something to look back at and say, hey, this is when I was in a great state. This is
Yeah.
when I wasn't so good. Like,
yeah.
do you put things out there for yourself that reminds you of that happy place?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We both journal. We're both actually writing a book as well, and about this whole journey. And we've talked about, the sticky notes,
Mhm.
different places. I write things in my planner. And sometimes when I'm in a bad place, I'm like, shut up, Amy. Like, that is just annoying. You know what I mean? Like, I like tell
Yeah,
myself,
yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
And but it's those things that kind of bring you back down and ground you. We do some grounding things too,
Mhm,
which is
mhm.
really important, because when our anxiety makes us like feel like we're way up here
Right.
and we just can't find ourselves. And so, different breathing exercises or what else do we do?
I was there today.
It's too
I was
late.
there today. I was on the phone with her and I was like, I gotta go. I'm gonna puke.
She laid on the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
So
Girl
because
grounding.
I just we've like we're gaining this like momentum. We have all this stuff going on, and so we're trying to figure all this out. And we're like, what do we have to do next? Did you write that down? I didn't write it down. Did you? And then like I'm looking through 6 different books that I write in because I'm like, that's how I think creatives are. We just kind of
Yeah.
like write stuff places.
Yeah.
And we find it later.
And my
But
last
today
question
I had
is-
to lay down on the ground and I put my feet on the ground. I put my hands flat on the ground and I did some mindfulness. So I was like, okay, what are 5 things I can hear right now? I was like, I can hear the birds outside. I can hear the fan above me. So it just like brought me back down to where I actually was. And I didn't feel like I was going to throw up anymore.
Yeah.
Which was good. So
And we
it's
both
about
teach
finding that
yoga.
calm, basically.
Yeah. And I think that moving our bodies when we don't want to is a huge thing you need to do that we do. Like I teach 2 times a week and every single time I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, I just want to lay down and go to bed and put the covers over my head. But knowing that people are counting on me and then also knowing I'm going to feel 10,000 times better when it's over, which I always do,
Right.
makes me do it. And so making ourselves move that seems so silly, but when you're depressed,
yeah,
you do not want to move your body. It just all hurts.
I know. My husband the other day was like, do you want to go for a walk? I was like, no, but I'll come.
And that was my last question. How do you tell your family when you're not in such a good mood? And how do they know how to respond to you so that you can get yourself together to put you back in your state?
It's a I mean, I've been with my husband for almost 18 years, so he kind of knows the
That's time. Yeah.
yes, he knows the deal. But I think because I didn't have a name for it for so long, I just thought, to be honest, I thought I was just like a hormonal bitch.
Right.
Like, I'm like, oh, around my period, I'm just a raging
Mhm.
bitch. Like, just don't get near me. Don't, whatever. Well, yeah, it was hormones, but it was also this. I have major depressive disorder. I have generalized anxiety. I have premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So it's like when I have my period, my depression is like it fills the room. So when I finally had all these names to it, and actually going to the hospital is what helped me a lot because they made us sit down and do these things. So they're like, we need you to sit down and write down your triggers. What are the things that make you okay? What do you need when you're in this space? So I actually had to write these things down and I had to give them to him. It was like part of the treatment. So there was no way out of it.
Scott did that
And
too.
yeah. So I like came to a place where I was like, I'm so glad I gave these to him until I'm in that space. And then when I'm in that space, I'm like, why the fuck did I give you those lists?
Right.
Why?
Right.
Like, alone. Let me sleep.
I don't want your
Right.
help.
That's right. Like,
Oh man. So with me and my husband, we luckily for 17 years never were in a moment in a whatever at the same time. So he was really, really good at caregiving with me. My boyfriend now it's been interesting because I think he gets like he wants to fix things. And I've been trying to retrain him. Like, you can't fix this shit.
No.
Like, you just can't. Like, you could maybe like take the kids or make dinner or rub my back, but that's about it. That's like all you can fix or leave me the hell alone. He doesn't understand that because it's like, okay, there's a problem, let's fix it. And so with mental health, it isn't that way. And I think that with friends, they just drop off and that's okay.
Not that she wasn't pointing to me.
Oh,
No.
I was saying like,
I'm not going anywhere.
No, I know. But we've decided to just let our friends like drop off because that isn't, I just can't, like, I can tell you all about it, but I can't make you accept it and be okay with me when I am in that spot.
Right.
But with our family, it's just again, educating, just like we do with our listeners. It's just educating and when we're in a good spot, sharing things with them so that when we're in that spot, like that they understand what's happening. And it's all about, like, for me with my boyfriend, it was it's not you. Like
Yeah.
immediately, like I was like, I swear to God, it's not you.
Yeah.
It's not you.
He's like, what did I do?
That's right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, how do we find you? How do we connect with you? I know. But how can our listeners connect with you and listen to your podcast and connect with you on social media?
Yeah, we are on every just your favorite podcast outlet.
All
You
of
can find
them.
us. We're on all of them. We're trying to get our videos up onto YouTube. There's one, so you can watch one episode.
Mhm.
I've got a bunch more, but they'll be on there. But everything, if you search Unqualified Therapists, we are on Instagram. We're at Unqualified Therapists. Twitter, we're at Untherapists because it was too long to do the other. And Facebook, we're Unqualified Therapists. And so we would love for you guys to email us at unqualifiedtherapists@gmail.com. Send us your stories, send us your questions. Just vent to us. Like, just we want to connect with everyone. So
And if you do take a listen, let us know how you got there. Let us know that you
yeah,
saw
that you
this
saw us with
Yeah,
Gloria.
absolutely.
awesome episode and podcast and Facebook Live so that we know how you got there.
Oh man, I
I
would
want to sing your
definitely.
name really bad.
Well, I was listening to an episode where the beginning of the song was my name. You know that, right?
Oh, no, it's Warrior.
Oh, I thought it was saying
I
glory.
know, but I want to sing Gloria.
Yeah,
Gloria.
everybody do. Everybody do.
Everybody.
I know. She's like, I'm so sick
Yeah.
of it. That's great. Stop.
I appreciate you ladies so much for being here. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
you for having
you.
us. And we appreciate the work you're doing.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you.
really
And
do.
definitely, I just subscribed, so I'll definitely be listening.
All
And I will
right.
get the
Yeah, we're
Yay.
following you
listen.
too.
And I'll write my review. I'll
Thank
definitely
you.
do that.
Thank
If you need
you.
help, just let us know.
I will. You ladies have a good holiday, okay?
You
All
too.
right,
You
thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.